You are standing on the goal line. The crowd is loud, but you barely hear it. 12 yards away, the striker places the ball on the penalty mark. There are no defenders in front of you. No passing lane to close. No second chance to recover. Just one player, one ball, and one decision. The striker begins the run-up. You watch the angle of the approach. You watch the support foot. You watch the kicking leg. You try to notice every clue before the ball is struck, but there is a problem. By the time the ball clearly tells you where it is going, it may already be too late. A penalty looks simple because almost nothing is happening. One ball, one striker, one goalkeeper. But that simplicity makes it brutal. In open play, a goalkeeper receives information, gradually a pass goes wide. A striker takes a heavy touch. A defender blocks a shooting lane. The attack develops in front of you. A penalty removes almost all of that information. The ball is stationary. The striker chooses the moment, and until the ball is kicked, the goalkeeper must still keep part of 1 foot touching level with or behind the goal line. So the goalkeeper cannot simply step forward and make the goal smaller. They have to wait, and then somehow they have to guess the future. The penalty mark is 11 meters from the goal line. That sounds close, but the goalkeeper is not trying to reach the ball in a straight line. The goalkeeper is trying to cover a goal that is more than 7 meters wide. If a football is traveling at 100 kilometers per hour, it can cover 11 meters in roughly 4/10 of a second. That is not much time. In those 4/10 of a second, the goalkeeper has to see the kick, identify the direction, push away from the ground, move sideways, stretch the body, extend an arm, and reach the correct point. The ball only has to travel forward. The goalkeeper has to travel across. That is why a penalty save is not just a reflex, it is a race against geometry. A goalkeeper can stand in the middle and still be several meters away from either corner. To reach a top corner, the body must first create force through the legs, then the goalkeeper has to launch sideways. Then the hands have to reach the ball at exactly the right height. Even a perfect dive takes time, and time is the one thing a goalkeeper does not have. Waiting for the ball to reveal everything sounds logical, but in a penalty, waiting for certainty can be the same as waiting for failure. That is why the best goalkeepers do not simply react after the kick. They begin reading the striker before the ball moves. A goalkeeper is looking for clues. The run-up angle, the final step. The position of the non-kicking foot. The rotation of the hips. The direction of the kicking leg. None of these clues is perfect. A striker can disguise them. A striker can show one thing and do another, but together they create a pattern. Research on penalty anticipation shows that skilled goalkeepers are generally better than less skilled goalkeepers at predicting where the kick will go. They do not stare at one magical body part. They read the whole movement. The striker is telling a story with the body. The goalkeeper is trying to guess the ending before the final sentence. The support foot can suggest a direction. The hips can suggest whether the player is opening the body or driving across the ball. The run-up can narrow the likely options, but every clue can be manipulated. A confident striker may choose a corner before starting the run-up. Another striker may watch the goalkeeper and wait for movement. One player treats the goalkeeper like an obstacle. The other treats the goalkeeper like information. And that creates the real penalty problem. The goalkeeper needs to move early enough to reach a corner, but moving early can reveal the decision to a striker who is waiting. Move too early and you may be deceived. Move too late and you may be correct, but never arrive. This is why penalties are not solved by one perfect strategy. The timing of the goalkeeper matters. The timing of the striker matters too. Research on elite shootouts has found that the chance of scoring changes depending on the combination of both players' decisions. An early moving goalkeeper can sometimes reach a powerful shot, but that same early movement can make life easier for a striker who is watching and waiting. A goalkeeper who waits longer hides the decision. But now there is less time to complete the dive. There is no answer that works every time. That is why teams study penalties before important matches. They look at preferred sides, they look at run-up speed, they look at whether a player usually chooses a corner early or reacts to the goalkeeper. They look for hesitation, they look for patterns, but probability is not prophecy. A player who has gone left many times can still go right when the pressure is highest. A goalkeeper can read the clues correctly and still face a shot that is too powerful or too close to the corner. Sometimes the keeper chooses the right side and still cannot reach the ball. Sometimes the ball goes directly down the middle while the goalkeeper dives away. And sometimes the goalkeeper stays central and makes a save without even needing a full dive. But staying still has its own problem. If the ball enters a corner, staying central looks passive. Diving looks like action. Standing still looks like failure, even when it was the sensible choice. That is where psychology enters the penalty. The striker has control over the ball. The striker controls the run-up. The striker controls the target. The goalkeeper is responding to someone else's plan. And yet the goalkeeper has one advantage. Expectation. Everyone expects the striker to score. A goal feels normal. A save feels extraordinary. That can give the goalkeeper a strange kind of freedom. The goalkeeper can move on the line, change posture, raise the arms, delay the final set position. create uncertainty. The rules allow movement as long as it is not unfair distraction. The striker wants a clean decision, the goalkeeper wants doubt, and doubt matters. A penalty is a movement that elite players have performed thousands of times. But under pressure, that automatic movement can suddenly become something they consciously control. They think about the crowd, they think about the goalkeeper, they think about the consequence, they think about missing. And when a player begins thinking about every tiny movement, a simple action can become harder. The best takers look calm because they protect the decision, they choose a strategy, they accept the risk, then they follow through. The best goalkeepers do something similar. They collect incomplete information, they trust their preparation, then they commit. Now return to the goal line. The striker starts the run-up. You watch the body, the support foot, the hips, the speed of the final step. You remember previous penalties. You remember the player's favorite side. You try to decide whether the striker has already chosen a corner or is waiting for you. Then you move, not after the answer becomes obvious. Before, sometimes you choose correctly, but the shot is too powerful. Sometimes you choose incorrectly because the striker deceived you. Sometimes the ball goes down the middle while you fly toward a corner. And sometimes, for a fraction of a second, everything aligns. The clue, the prediction, the timing, the dive, your hand reaches the ball from the crowd. It looks like an impossible reflex. But a great penalty save is usually something more complicated. It is an educated gamble made at full speed. The goalkeeper is not waiting to discover where the ball will go. The goalkeeper is reading incomplete clues, choosing the most likely future, and throwing the entire body toward that future before the ball confirms whether the choice was right. That is why goalkeepers almost never save penalties. And that is why, when they do, the save feels impossible. Subscribe to Lucidly Odd if you enjoy discovering why ordinary things are much stranger than they look.